Hello guys and gals, this is my first video with my new truck, well 2-year-old truck now. It's a 2020 Ford Ranger, and I was told at the dealer that the back brakes were bad. And of course they told me it was like $500 for parts to do the rear brakes, etc. So anyway, I'm going to show you now. They were certainly right that the brakes are certainly well down, you know, not dramatically down I guess, but there's the old pad, here's the new pad. They're actually, in my humble opinion, about maybe 40-50%. Anyway, so my issue was getting the caliper off. When I looked at it with the brake, the handbrake assembly, it looked really difficult from what I could say. I thought I had to release the handbrake just to get it off, and this is why I'm doing this video. Is you need to release the brake caliper bracket. And the reason why I would say release the brake caliper bracket is well, clearly you're going to need to get at the pads and clear all that up, you know, get all the rust, the junk and everything out, and put your new clips in there and put your pads in place. You'll need that, but there's more than enough movement. Now I have it resting on the brake caliper on a jack stand here now, but you can move this around enough so that you can easily access the brake caliper and fix it, you know. So anyway, that was my point, in that all you need to do is release the brake caliper bracket itself, pop out those two bolts that are right here, top and bottom, and then release the brake caliper itself, and you can slide the brake caliper and the bracket out, and you know, put your pads in place, clean everything up, get that ready. Then you can compress your brake caliper and Bob's your uncle. I'm not certain at this point. I can't find anything online about it, but I'm not certain as to if the brake caliper goes clockwise or counterclockwise, but that will be trial and error now as to how that works, and I'll work that out. But anyway, I struggled with that for a while because I honestly thought you had to release the brake the brake cable. I didn't know, but you had to adjust it in the front first, and I probably still will have to adjust it. I'm not certain, but I mean, that was adjusted for when it had full pads when it was new, so I'm assuming I shouldn't have to, but we'll see. But anyway, I'll follow that up in a little bit. Okay, so I have the brake caliper cleaned up. I cleaned up my sliders and put new grease on them, and they're all back in place. I've got all the new clips on now, and everything is in place. So I'm going to compress the brake caliper now. Okay guys, I got to tell you again, 2020 Ford Ranger. I couldn't find any information just online about doing the rear brakes on this truck. So as I just went through what I've done so far, I just compressed the piston, and so you know, passenger side, driver's side rear is counterclockwise. You got that? Counterclockwise, 100%. I just found that out after fucking grunting and bending up the arm on my tool trying to move the piston, only to find out that I just assumed that it was clockwise. I don't know, I just thought it would be, but anyway, that's what it is, counterclockwise on this side. But I would assume then, I would expect it's opposite on the other side, but I'll be able to tell you guys later in this video. But that's what it is. So as you can see, I don't have the handbrake cable released. I've got that still connected. I've compressed the piston now. I took off the brake caliper bracket, and I've got all the pads and everything in that now, and I'm going to see how this goes together. I still am not certain as to whether I'm going to have to adjust the handbrake, and the reason why I say that, I don't know if it's an auto adjustment or what it is, but I guess I'll see. But anyway, I'm going to check it out now. Okay, follow up to the rear brake job on 2020 Ford Ranger. Passenger side is clockwise. Driver's side is counterclockwise for those for the brake calipers to turn them in. Very important, and can save you an awful lot of frustration fucking around with it. I figured it out the hard way and had great difficulty releasing both of them, but they're all spun in now, best kind. But I mean, well, I can show you actually to give you some idea as to the stress that was on them. Is I was using this little tool here, and this is what the end piece looks on it like now. So, but I am living in Newfoundland with salt and all that shit, right? Anyway, I hope that helps someone. You do not need to release your handbrake. You don't. That's number one. You do not. And I was really concerned about that, but you can pop off. You're going to have to take the brake caliper bracket off as well as the brake caliper. You're going to want to do that anyway, but then you can take the brake caliper with the pads attached, clean all that up, you know, re-grease your sliders and you know, the whole works. You can have that all assembled. Then you can go and try and compress your brake caliper. But I'll say again, very important, hope it helps someone. Driver's side rear brake caliper turns in counterclockwise. Passenger side rear goes clockwise. Later, Gator. Well, I'm just finishing up the video now of the rear brakes, and I just reviewed the video only to see that the main reason why I created the video, the main reason why I went through the trouble was because when I was looking at it, I couldn't figure out if there was enough room for the brake caliper and hose, you know, the whole area to be able to maneuver enough so that you didn't have to release the handbrake and that handbrake mechanism, because it's a different setup. Well, I'm sure it's probably common on a few Fords. It was different for me. I hadn't seen it. So that was the main thing, and that was the main reason for the video, to help anybody, is that you do not need to release that. Once you take off the brake caliper bracket, right, remove the brake caliper bracket, there's enough movement then in the whole thing to easily take the pads out and compress the brake caliper. And of course the sliders and everything are all part of the brake caliper bracket. So you can easily do the rear brakes, remove the rotors and the pads and all the clips, and easily enough, and clean it all up without doing anything with the handbrake. Now that was a few weeks ago, I think now, when I done that, and I haven't had to adjust the handbrake. I had no issue putting it all back together, so you never fuck with the handbrake at all. You may want to adjust the tension on the handbrake, so when you're pulling it up, it'll go a little. Mine's pretty high there now, which surprises me actually, but I didn't have to fuck with the handbrake at all. So that's the main reason for the video, is that I didn't know, and I've done lots of brake jobs, I didn't know if if you had to screw with the handbrake, as in release the handbrake cable and take that whole mechanism off, or if you could do it without it. And the answer to that is you do not, guys. You do not have to screw with anything to do with the handbrake. You can do your rear brakes. I only did the pads on mine because the rotors were still good. The truck's not even 2 years old. But there's nothing any different. Once you take your brake caliper bracket off, there's no set screw or anything. Your rotor's going to fall off there anyway. So all it is switching the rotors up, you know. Anyway, I hope it helps somebody.